and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing some more blue-white control, an archetype that is kind of faded whenever it comes to best of one overall, but we've been back trying to revive it as maybe an archetype that can help us win matches whenever we're kind of in a slump, playing some other goofy decks like I tend to do sometimes. You know, Smuggler Surprise is a deck that I play occasionally, and sometimes it go very good, sometimes very bad, but we're here to talk about blue-white control and what we're doing. So this list that I'm actively playing, before I started today, I checked my record with it previously. I didn't realize I was 8-0 with the list. We're not 8-0 now, but at the time we had won 8 straight, which was pretty cool. And let's break it down and how that could be. So we have a lot of removal and a lot of spot up conditional removal, as you can tell. We have one Elspeth Smite. I think his card in total is like kind of good or bad. You like want it in your hand. Sometimes you don't ever want to see it. But if you have it in your opener, it could be good. Having too many copies feels bad. We can always get rid of it later. Or we can use it in combination of some other like blocks or something like that. Then we have 3 Get Lost and 2 Not on My Watch. This card has been a card that I was never a fan of whenever I played against it. I was like, what is that card? Why are we playing it? And it's definitely grown on me. Especially with how many creatures have to be exiled now, like Slashers or Still the Heartfire Hero and things like that. So this card has been a big win for me. Other than that, Soul Partition, a conditional removal or a way to kind of flip our Jace and kind of do the double mill, or even do something a little bit wacky where we target our own temporary lockdown and replay the lockdown, absorbing everything else on the board and kind of using lockdown twice. Other than that, we have a lot of draw effects like 3 Steps Ahead that acts as a counterspell. No More Lies is just a counterspell, and Spellgyre that can act as a counterspell and draw as well. The other thing with 3 steps is it technically can copy a creature, which is our Herald that we play. Other than that, we are into our board wipes where we are playing 3 temporary lockdowns. We're pretty cautious with this card. We want to use it whenever it's actually going to be a board wipe. If not, we much rather use a Day of Judgment, which destroys all creatures, or 2 Sunfalls. You could technically, if you have one, maybe you don't have all these, you could play like a White Sun Zenith. It's just a nice card. Is it White Suns or is it White Suns Twilight? White Sun's Twilight. Yeah, so you could arguably play one copy of this if you'd like. This card's pretty cool as well. It's also an alternate win condition. I didn't put it in the sideboard like I normally do, but this is a option that you have access to if you want to play it over maybe like another Sunfall even, because honestly, a lot of times the board's wiped before we ever get to a Sunfall. Outside of that, we are using Think Twice over Deduce because we can Surveil, put it in the graveyard, or just cast it from hand, and we get extra draws. We don't actually have to keep it on top like we do with Deduce to make sure we get that double draw value. Sometimes we leave it on top if we have the mana because it'll still draw us 2 cards in that way, but putting it in our graveyard gives us a different draw for turn, and then this, so it kind of effectively draws 2 anyway. Outside of that, we have 2 Jaces to be the win condition. I don't like playing any more than 2 because starting with this in your opening hand is pretty devastating. We have to minimize that amount of cards in our deck. So I replace it with a Teferi, which is also kind of in the same vein, but I definitely like having this card. I think this card is a sleeper card in this deck. Other than that, we have Herald, which just says I cannot lose the game while it's on the battlefield, and our opponent cannot win the game while it's on the battlefield. So they have to remove it, and Aggro oftentimes has a hard time doing it because they invest all their resources into killing us. And then we flash this in, and then they find a hard time doing that, especially when we just hold like a 3 steps ahead to make a copy of it in response to a removal spell. So we make a copy, and we counter their kind of burn spell so they can't do anything in response, and we go from there. Outside of that, utility lands are 2 Restless Anchorages, 2 Fountainports, and 4 Demo Fields. Demo Field being super important in a control deck, because too many man lands can get you, because stuff like Soul Partition cannot target it, or temporary lockdown cannot do it as well. And I'm talking about the one that becomes like the demon land, the 3 mana one, or the one that's 4 mana and it's like permanently stays a land. Temporary lockdown can't hit that either. So like we have to be a little bit careful. So we want to make sure we have demo fields up and ready to go. Outside of that, we're going to dive into the games. I hope you all enjoyed them. A little bit longer of an intro than I wanted, but it is what it is, and let's go game. Definitely a little bit of a struggle bus, but we'll keep. We get a counter spell. We get a draw. Maybe Jace will be good. Maybe. Still don't know what this is, technically, but I'll take the 3rd or 4th land. It'll be our 3rd land drop, but our 4th land. Or it'd be our second land drop, who knows? Sure. Find another land, they're probably pretty thankful for that. Now here's only one downside, is I can't really stop a Kaido from entering. This is an ability, so it's not even like counterable. They play this land and then Kaido me. Oh, they play a different land, okay. Sure. Play, I think, twice, I guess. Guess here. Oh, it actually resolved. Okay. Plus here.
Is wasted. You cannot win. Our plans are being.
Don't get me wrong, Kaido can still come in here, but is there a reason we haven't played the land I know about? Oh, we learned about combat damage, huh? Yeah, so nothing happened because no damage is actually dealt. So I'll just Wrath here, I guess. I'm gonna lose this Jace for free. What if I just go ahead and barrel them? Because it's like this can come up and hit that. Tidebinder, Mockingbird, so on and so forth. But sure. So we find like an actual way to remove that. It's just the non-land permanent, so there's not a whole lot I can do about it. They mill me, sure. If I didn't have to Wrath, obviously the demo field's like really good there, right? But I did have to Wrath, so we fall a little bit behind here, but now we have a demo field up and ready to go for this land if they want to kind of do that. Still have 2 mana. They can try to Tidebinder me, but I can always counter that. Okay. Land. Cigars. We'll take an island here. I do think I should just think ahead or think twice. I haven't budged really too much. I think I'm just going to keep taking advantage of that. 6 mana gives us a lot, so we have to play our 6 mana instead of playing this tap because that allows us to counter and to hold up this or a second counter spell. Like a lot it just provides us. Nothing worth demo fielding right now, so we'll think twice. Do it again. Might as well just keep restocking our hand. Now we'll play the only land we have a choice to, and now we're at a full grip. Just ready to go. There's the Kaido that we assumed was going to come down earlier. I'll definitely do the hard counter spell here, maybe. Yeah, sweet. That gives us 2 mana to pay for like the soft counter spell that they play. But it also gives us mana to kind of use like a no more lives if needed be on something else. Like if they let that resolve and then they played a second Kaido post that turn. Do I go for draws or no? I think it's a no. Alright. Well, I got a thing to flash in on their head step. Maybe 4/7. Should I? Sure, dude. I don't know. I gotta have something, right? Yeah, I was gonna say, they gotta have something eventually. They drew the counterspell just now. They haven't had it like any other time. I think twice we'll throw in the graveyard because we get that value anyway. I could take it as a draw 2 because we are here. But this is effectively a draw 2 by just throwing it in the graveyard because we get to the card for free. No real removal spell here. Although Elspeth Smite and stuff can actually remove that, whereas like my other removal spells cannot. And it also stays a creature permanently, so it's like probably fine. Surveil. I can probably go. Pass. Again, this can come up and attack me, but I'm not that opposed to it in comparison to what could happen. Actually, we have to blow it up, right? Yeah, so there's that land, which is significantly harder to remove. Do I care, or do I have to blow this up and then find an answer for this? I think I want to look first. This is a bit of an overextension by me, per se. You could say. Well, okay. Find exactly what we were talking about. We find the Smite. Here's 3 damage. Smite is a 1-of, by the way. But there's also, like, this card as well. None of my watch and things like that that are just good. Now, they could have a Tidebinder, so I'm not going to go to try to blow up their land. If you're curious how we know there's a Tidebinder. All the way down here, there's one somewhere. Yeah. Right there. Well, end turn. And they also just have a ton of flash creatures, so. We'll play this game until they're completely out of cards. I was going to say, we'll play until they run out of cards. I'm not moving ever. Now, one of the reasons I play only 2 Jaces is because I typically don't want them in my opener, but it's okay. Land? We'll keep. Oh, boy. Here we go. Oh, no. Oh, no. This is the Azorius combo deck, I think. They're like the only one I remember playing Blast Zone. There's no reason to hold up the mana and draw, I guess. Might as well just play this land tapped and call it a day. Maybe it's just control mirror. I have no idea. Let's just play the Fountainport. Force them to do something. Because if they have a demo field, they're going to have to play it. Yeah, they're the combo deck. Okay. Oh, alright. There's an Omniscience instantaneously in that graveyard. Gross. Let's take a draw. Find a land. Play a demo field. I feel like we're going to have to try to mill them over. Or like blow up their land, see how many basics they truly have. They should have 1 or 2, but yeah. Actually, they play like 6, don't they? They play a lot of basics. That's fine. Hey, there's your win condition, dude. Is there a way that we can get them to so few cards left that we actually can win that way? Actually, I'm pretty positive there is a way we can. Because they need so many cards in terms of operation mana. Or like operational, because the thing looks at 2 cards every time, right? And then it goes over. So to one-shot me, you have to do it 10 times, which is 20 cards. So, I mean, it's quite a lot, but I can do 15. Especially considering they keep using cards, right? So it's like... Sure. Now I have Counterspell plus Float. So I can counter... They left this in the graveyard. It just means they have another one, right? Okay. You can do 15, which would be exactly 20, and they'd have no cards left, right? Yeah, that's allowed. Sure. Huh? Sure. Huh? What in the world is happening? No counter spell in there, but I do know they play negates. Like, that's the only downside. Maybe we'll cast this thing twice. Maybe they'll fire something off. An additional counter spell would be sick. A get lost is pretty fine. Guess we just pass again, right? They know we're just hard blue-white control, so they're kind of playing around it the best they can. Little they know we're pretty vulnerable right now. But as they keep digging, like, it does allow Jace to become a lot more threatening. I think they're trying to find that counterspell to interact. All right, one to bottom, one to hand, and Omniscience into the bin. Another thin here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how if I resolve a Jace that they can beat it. Because realistically, they're so close to just, like, not being able to do it regardless. Does some of them play a shuffler? They definitely could. Negate is 100% possible here. Counter target spell. I don't have a no more lives, so that sucks. That just gets countered. Okay. I feel like they would have fought for that, though. Will be enough? I don't know. No, because it's less than 12, right? I'm just going to barrel them. I don't really have much else to do. And they can kind of go from there. I do have, like, a get lost, a soul partition, things like that. One invasion. They probably have enough invasions, but the thing is like, they can only do it 5 times. I don't have a counter spell, so there's nothing I could do. Like, this is gonna resolve. Okay. I might have a counter spell for this, but I don't know. Sure. Got it, boss. Okay. They have to have a way to shuffle back in, right? There's just like no other way that makes any sense. Or is there a random card that says if you have 0 cards in your library, you win? I actually don't know. I don't know if there's one of those in standard currently. Sure. They have a way to shuffle back in, we lose. I just don't know. Okay. Oh, is this loopable to win that way? They don't need their library. Because the initial version was not loopable like this. Yeah, okay, that's loopable, right? Yeah, play this, grab that, play that, and do that over and over and over again. Sure, you got it. The original version that I saw actually did not play that card at all. They were just like putting it back in their hand, making a 2/2, which made no sense to me. This is like a way better card to do it. So I was just under the impression that that's what they were doing. But sure, we lose that game. I feel like if we found a second counter spell, I don't know, ever, we were fine, but we just didn't, so that's fine. My opponent's first. We have like awful mana to kind of operate on, but we'll try this. Sure. Yeah, the best of 1 arena meta is so easy to kind of conform to, you know? I just played against blue-white, Omniscience combo, mill, win con, and now I'm immediately against Scroll Aggro. It's just like... It's genuinely why playing against like these type of decks is so hard. or playing this type of deck is so hard because you have to beat this matchup while also beating a graveyard combo strategy, and that's just so hard in general. Let's Soul Partition this. Rather not take 6 this turn off of just one creature, especially without having an additional white mana. We find one, thankfully. What's the play? I guess just lockdown. There's no reason not to, and then I can double think twice next turn maybe, and then go with the Sunfall. Who really knows? Sure. Sure. Well, I found a counter spell, so that's pretty good. Obviously, drawing a card to be the best. So we kind of hope they just go for 2 here. Sure. Twice. Another land, even though it's not a colored mana, it just kind of sucks. Okay. Am I going to draw a colored mana? Like, please? Hello? I understand I've done this to myself a little bit, but... I actually have to wait here. Should I make a treasure instead? Sure. I feel like a treasure is actually better. Weirdly enough. Even though it's like temporary mana, I feel like it's somehow better here. Because now I get to Sunfall. And then I can... Man, this mana just... Holy cow, this mana sucks. I guess I can make a token here. And then I can bring the token up. Yes. Sure, I suppose. One day. You just playing that? No, okay. Snake Skin Veil, Burst Lightning, sure. Those are till this turn, so sure. My turn? Hey, another colored source. Very cool. Oh, we have to not die, which is easier said than done. Fire this off, I guess. Here. Might be able to lightning strike me here. Okay, they didn't float any mana, which means they cannot lightning strike me, which is cool. I will go grab an island. I'm going to use this here. I understand I'm using my treasure, but holy, bro. The mana alone in this game is like trying to suplex me, and I just can't deal with it. Give me more blue, please. Not really going to do anything good here. Too many cards and not enough for a counter spell, so we just have to hold. Sure. We're gonna get value out of our not on my watch here, because again they used all their mana and they play Snakeskin Veil, so there's just no reason to really do much else. Judgment, sure. Sure. We'll play Teferi. Make a dude. And then we counter whatever they play as long as it's a creature. Counter. Okay. Interesting. Sweet, though. I mean, the only thing they're not going to be able to really beat here, though, is the fact that we'll draw a card. These things will get massive, right? Or get bigger. Like, this is going to get a counter. This is going to go up a loyalty. Then we're going to plus here. This is going to be a 4/4. That'll hit them. And then we'll have put 2 extra cards in their hand. We have 2 Think Twices up and ready to go, along with, like, a Fountainport and a demo field to blow up their creature land, but cool. Cool. Opponent goes first. Our counterspell slightly slow, but we'll keep. Okay. Temporary lockdown is needed. In that, we know what we're after. Maybe we'll find value off our no more lines, but Chorus, aggro, sure. Temporary lockdown even more needed. It is kind of crazy how much these games change, whether I'm on the play or draw here. Because, for example, if I'm on the play, I get to pick this up with a counter spell, but now it's actually much worse. It's a draw and a... We let that resolve. Counter that. As unfun as that is what we have to do. And I'll take 4. Temporary lockdown. Mr. Sir, come off the top, please. Okay. I have a weird feeling that we're dead. I'm gonna have to use this to draw. I have to find an answer to this board. Sure. Again, the Prowess resolves. That resolves. You have to counter that. Guess what still works really well here? A land. Yes. Yes. I'm just looking, dude. I'm dead. I'm not even trying to... Literally the next card. Ah! My opponent is first. I'm going to draw a Surveil, a temporary interaction spell, and temp lockdown. We'll try this. It's best of 1, so oftentimes you have to keep like maybe a little less than the optimal things when it comes to stuff like this, but sure. We'll play a archive. A Smite here seems bad. We definitely are running into a bounce effect deck, it seems. This could be a Storm Splitter deck. That'd be kind of cool. Okay. Interesting. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you may put them in any counter on it. Okay. Cool, I guess. I mean, I do feel like I gotta get value out of my temporary lockdown, right? In a spot like this. Sure. Okay, brother, my bad. Fine, Lord. That was 3 mana, and they're like, I'm about to hit you for 8. Good luck. I'm like, I'm good, actually. You could not do that. That'd be fantastic. Play this, counter the Hatcher? I guess so. We might actually need this card this game. So I'm actually going to keep it on top because I don't think graveyarding it is the way to go right now. Oh, they play a tap land. Brutal. Okay. That is still counterable, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, we kind of figured that that's what it was. Or at least I did. I kind of figured that that's what this was. Do I temp lockdown here? Probably not. I looked to like draw or counter the spell. You just make them work for this type of stuff. I know what this card does. I'm currently playing it. Let's see what's up here. We have one little mouse. Or otter. It's not a mouse. That actually matters. But And we have a 4-mana Drakecatcher, which is a very cool card that came out a little while ago. This little guy right here. I will allow it. I'm actually going to look for lands. I'm going to temporary lockdown it and hope that's enough. Sure. We need to... One of those can go. I'll take one of the lands. Pretty sweet card. Okay. Really good land to find here. Let's lock down. At least with lockdown, they might be able to flood maul it. Like, their creatures don't have haste, so then I get to play it again, right? So it doesn't really matter. So I feel like the bounce spells is not really where they're at. They might play an unsummon or two, but I don't know if those necessarily matter. And I don't think counter spells is quite up their alley. So as long as I can hit land drops and then eventually barrel this and protect it, maybe we'll be fine. But we'll see. Sure. All right. Now we're definitely holding. Got a lot going on here. None of my watch is actually growing on me as a card. I remember the first time somebody cast this against me, I was like, that card's so bad. Why are we playing this? And then now I'm on the other side with all these creatures that need exiled when they attack. And I'm like, never mind, that card's nuts. I'm so sorry. I just counter the Storm Chaser's talent? Probably not, right? Well, maybe I should have, because I can buy a spell back here. Is that what they're going to do? Oh, they go directly into that. Okay. Sure. We know what we're going to do here. We're going to blow this up. Or exile it, I guess. What do we got? Exile here. Arguably, I should have countered this, I guess. I probably should have. It does get 3 counters. Okay. What do we got here? Just the white mana. Is it a Helix, I guess? It's a weird thing to see here. Not very happy about it. An untap land here would be great. Honestly, deck thinning like that's not necessarily the best idea in the world, but I feel like we have to answer that while we can. Because if I get land drop, I can then Day of Judgment and then counter whatever they do, but I miss. But Soul Partition at least gives me something to interact. Day of Judgment, blow those up. It will pass. Depending what ends up happening here, we might even Soul Partition or temporary lockdown. Oh. That's pretty good. Sure. Will my Herald be able to beat anything ever? I don't know. It's definitely going to be like a flash it in and hope it's a good enough kind of thing. All right, we'll pass. The problem is they just draw so many cards, and unsummon is just such a possible card in their deck. It's just such a high like probability that it's in there. But I could see it only being just like burn spells because that's kind of where they're at. In general, it seems. I haven't budged at all. Okay. You know, that is gaming for sure. I'll flash this in. We're just gonna call it a day with that. I'm gonna pass here. I have counterspell plus make a copy of it. So, like, here's my slick shot. I'll allow it, I guess. Okay, trample. Sure. Crash through is pretty cool. Uh-huh. Soul Partition here. He plays Shelter by Ghost. I swear this deck got randomly made currently, actively during this match. Like, they did not have a white mana that entire time, and the white mana never mattered until literally right now. Like, sometimes this stuff happens, you're just like, there's no way. It's not real. It can't be. You know what I mean? We're gonna blow this up. We're gonna go grab another plains, and then we're gonna cycle our Think Twice. And then honestly, I don't think against this deck Herald can ever block. So I think I have to be aggressive with it, which is weird. Think Twice, maybe. We're on there and step pause for some reason. Sure. Fire this off. Okay. We find a hard counter spell. 4 and 3. So we are kind of on just double counter spell here. My opponent's like, I could Shelter by Ghost him again. But we'll see. Temporary lockdown number 2 is actually pretty cool. I'm trying to attack, opponent. We don't have to pause on everything here. Come on now. Come on now. Up. Yep. Air hit, and then we pass. We're trying to control it up right now. My opponent's trying to make it hard on me. Oh, just that? Alright, cool. Counter. I don't have enough mana to do the other thing. Now, could they have an unsummon here? Maybe, but I'm going for it. They didn't have an unsummon last turn, so I feel fine. Now I have 2 Heralds. And now I can double not lose, which is always sick. But is Herald the best card for that matchup? Probably not, but like, did it work? Sorta. I mean, it allowed us to close the game really quickly against a matchup where the longer we wait, honestly, the harder it's going to be for us to ever win. But yeah, very sweet. Oh boy, what fun life was. Yo, somebody DOS this guy. Get his address. We're gonna need to send an ambulance, brother. That's insane. I mean, yeah, we keep this. We just throw Day of Judgment back. Oh, maybe it was supposed to be that. Double Maul. Oh, maybe if you didn't play Monored, you'd have more fun, buddy. I don't know. We have a lockdown. We just have to hope to not be dead, I guess. I'll take 1. That's fine. Ooh. Unless there's a... Oh! Well, we just take 1? Let's go. Like cheating. Sure. Uh-huh. Yeah. Are these burn spells? Could be. But we're definitely just gonna sit here and do nothing for a while, I guess. I'm not gonna temporary lock down that. I now have a counter spells galore active and extra draws. Yeah, like that feels weirdly enough, we're gonna hit it with a 3 steps ahead. Now obviously 3 steps ahead is a hard counter spell. But if we do it this way, we can play a land, think twice on instep, and then no more lies something if need be. Now that kind of sucks as a draw, but sure. We still have 4 mana for this. We have 2 mana for now this and this, which is kind of where we're at. Kind of trying to stagger them. Obviously, we use a better counter spell for that, as much as that sucks, but I'll let Swiss Spear hit me for 1 for the end of time if that's what it requires. I'm gonna make him think we drew it. That's fine. Obviously, we didn't just draw that. We've had it, and we know that. But they don't know that. Now we'll pass. Now, if there's another one, we'll actually let it resolve and just temporarily lock down the board, I think. Okay. Sure. They're actually committing now. Huh. You think this is a situation where they're just like super frustrated and they're like, no, I'm sending it now. Or it's just all burn in hand. Wow, it was just all burn in hand. This is insane. This is how this game just went. I'm so upset. I'm at 3 now? Oh, thank you, Get Lost. I appreciate showing up now, buddy. Playing this temporary lockdown's even a mistake. I'm so floored now. I fumbled the bag so hard just a minute ago. So we could have held up 3 steps ahead and just Get Lost their creature. Let's play our land. Now we just have to figure out how to win this game. We cannot cycle one of these because we cannot hold up at 3 steps ahead if we do that. We'll pass. Okay. I was like, why did it look like it was activating 4 mana? Not a fan. Oh, we're going to find all the removal now? Okay. I was just like, are we going to find all the removal now? This is going to be very upsetting for me. I gotta draw cards. We know what we need to find. There's a certain Herald that we would love to draw. That's fine. Uh-huh. Exile. I just can't believe they had all that burn. That was crazy. Barrel.
I know where to find all.
Nice. All right, everything's fine. We have the creature. Oh no, we didn't even get to play it. What fun that game was. Yeah, I mean, I definitely kind of snapped it off a little too fast. I do think the play a while ago was with this temporary lockdown that we actually let... Oh, it's exiled, right? We actually let this resolve even though they offspringed it. And then we actually locked down the board. Because even if they did have another creature in hand to pump with like a lot of things, right? It wouldn't actually end up mattering, right? Because... at that point, they would have 4 mana. Maybe they play 5 mana. They could play a thing and they would get to use 3 spells and then we be in the same spot we were in. But as long as we did this, cards like Monstrous Rage would not be relevant, right? So I definitely messed up there. Thankfully, we get out of this game, even though we did make a kind of big blunder. But then we blundered again. But, you know, it's okay. Okay. We'll walk away from it. With that said, that's going to do it for me. This is the deck list that I've been playing. It's the one I've been enjoying. Last time I posted this, I didn't even realize I was 8-0. I'd probably bring this up in the intro. But yeah, I had no idea I was 8-0, and I was kind of looking around, and I was like, oh, hey, wow, I'm actually undefeated with this, which is really cool. And then I played it a bit today, and I kind of had one of those bad variance days overall, so I was a little annoyed when playing. I think a lot of my games started off, I know it's going to happen every now and then, but I had like 3 or 4 games before I actually started recording where I just started with 3 planes and only blue cards, or I started with 3 islands and only white cards, and I was like, wow. Or I just had 2 demo fields and then nothing to play with them, and I was like, man, this is hurting a lot. This sucks. And I was just like, maybe I have to play something else. And then it was another thing where like if my opponent needed a card, they found it, or it was just a matchup like I could never really win. Like the Omniscience Reanimator pile, I went 20 cards deep and found 1 counter spell, and I got them to tap out for that spell, so I would have been able to counter the Reanimate, and I had a Jace in the hand to win, but then I just like lose. It's like everything that could have went wrong did go wrong in those games, so it definitely sucked. But Outside of that, the games you got to see, or the games that I uploaded, hopefully I lost a game or two. It should be in this video, I believe. I don't remember exactly. I've been recording for like 3 hours as well, but with that said, this is where I've been. This is kind of the cards that I've been using right now in this deck. The board wipes are like good. The Herald, I can't figure out if this card's actually nuts or it just happens to work the times I get it and play it. Maybe somebody's tried it and maybe they've experienced something different, but there was like that Monored game. They can never remove it when they go empty-handed and things like that, and the other matchup as well. But it was pretty good. But with that said, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.